catty cat from all points west. A bit like that song that famous English singer used to sing about being wired for sound. Remember him? Cliff Richard, you're right. Is that going? Wonderful. Can I recognise my parliamentary colleagues, first of all, Clayton Mitchell just spoke here, and then Frederick Tapito, who should be over here but he's not, gazing at the magnificent scenery, from Rotorua, Derek Ball, who's here from Palmerston North, and distinguished guests, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today. Things have been very rushed and the weather's been real lousy behind us, and it's made things a bit difficult in getting ourselves organised. Now, it's great to be back in the Western Bay, to be back here in Tauranga, which I have such fantastic memories of. And what is fantastic, of course, is to pick up the paper today, and it's all about political pressure being applied here in Tauranga. In fact, I was actually fascinated to see this. Pressure mounts for roading deal. Now, I wonder why, this close to election, this matter is headlining for the umpteenth time since I left here. Ladies and gentlemen, with just 10 weeks to go, things are heating up, and you will find how desperate our political rivals are, because we have been to the country, and we've been out for a long time, for years now, going all over this country, going on roads less travelled, and never travelled at all, to speak to all the New Zealanders, because we felt a long way up that something seriously was going wrong with our country, and that we needed to do something about it. We've struck a chord with the voters, and the polls have changed, much to the alarm of some of our critics, who are growing paranoid by the day as to what it might mean, because their idea of politics is that it's adults' work, and that the rest of you are children who should go away whilst they discuss it. In short, they don't want you involved at all, because somehow that's not how they see the world. They think they've got the ephemeral and intellectual capacity to decide all these issues all by themselves, but they're due to the work to make it happen. And the Greens lashed us just a little while ago for being racist, and said they still want to work with us to form a government. Now, what sort of hypocrites would you be if you think people are racist but you want to work with them? Or maybe you don't think they're racist, but you think you might get some votes if you say so, which would make them honest at that point in time. But no, they said we're racist, but they're still prepared to work with us. And they've got an agreement with the Labour Party. So did they discuss that with the Labour Party first? But then that's not unusual. You've got a man with a very unusual approach to politics. His party's called TOP. Not yourself. TOP. The Opportunities Party. And he launched at Ratna on the 25th of January this year an attack on New Zealand First by calling me an Uncle Tom. How do you like that? Did you see the Race Relations Conciliator hit the roof when he said that? Not a word, not a murmur, not a mutter, not a sound, not a syllable. You see how it is in New Zealand? There's one law for them, a different law when it's applied to New Zealand First. And right now we're attacked by the Top Party, by that, you know what the expression, the English people who understand the English language very well will understand, it's a plain old word, it's called cuckold. The cuckold from Epsom. He spends all his time attacking us. He just has to cough in the media about it. We attack New Zealand First. Now you've got the Greens doing it, and now you've got the Maori Party doing it, and then the National Party's doing it as well. Well, it reminds me of that famous line from a general who made his name in the forests of France during the Second World War, when his platoon was totally cut off, and the general finally, after hours of absolute chaos, got in contact with him and said to him, "What's going on?" Now, excuse the language, but you know what he said? And no one ever forgot it. And he went on to be the commander of Allied Forces Vietnam. His name was General Abrams, but back then as a young guy, the general rang him and said, "What is going on?" He said, "What's going on? They've surrounded us again, the poor bastards." And that's how we feel. We're not going to be deterred by that, because we are for one law for everybody, regardless of race, regardless of gender, and we've stood for it all our lives. Anyone with a smidgen of intelligence would recognise New Zealand First is not racist. We are a party that believes in immigration when it's focused, when it brings the best of people here, designed to help our country, not me, for our country to help them. That's what every smart country does on immigration. And we've got all sorts of members in New Zealand First, from all sorts of backgrounds. Go onto our Facebook, which is bigger than all the other political leaders apart from the National Party, all put together, and you'll see how many names there come from all around the world, including many from Asia. Not all of them as blind as some of the commentary in this country on the issue of what's important for nation building. Nation building is about bringing the very best intellectual capacity you can to help you build your economy. Bringing people here who we need, not people who need us. That's why we're different. And we've got the courage to say so. And we've got the fortitude to face down our critics who think they can dismiss all academic debate by just categorising you as being xenophobic and racist. Those people are attitude cops. They're language cops. If they haven't got an argument to defeat you with, they categorise you straight away by labelling you, and they think that will win them the argument. And we've got news for them in this campaign, and it's all bad. We're not going away talking plain common sense for New Zealanders. Ladies and gentlemen, the UK has a population of 65 million. That means it's got a massively big economy as well, one of the biggest economies in the world. And their target on immigration is 100,000 net. Then north of us, we've got this massive country called Australia, with a population far, far bigger than us, and a place like New South Wales, which is 21 times the size of New Zealand alone. And their target, what's this flashing sound that's going on here? The speaker? Anyway, it's well, anyway, we've got this massive country north of us called Australia. And guess what their total population net target is each year to grow from immigration? It's not 400,000, it's not 300,000, it's not even 100,000, no, it's 80. And here we are at 73,000 and rising. And a man called Bill English trying to defend it, and so saying it's good for New Zealand. He says it's evidence of how sound our economy is. Well, our response to that is very clear. Mr. English, if it's so good, why don't you make it not 73,000 net? Why don't you make it 173,000? Then it'll be twice as good, won't it? Well, he's meant to be a man trained by Treasury. He's meant to be intelligent, although he's the worst speech maker I've ever heard. Mind you, if you look at some of the prime ministers this country's had, we're living proof that this country's land of opportunity. Have no bones of it. Look at some of them. And the current one can't give a speech to save himself. Doesn't go out and have public meetings like I do. No. Always to tired audiences. Always to lobby groups. Always to industry groups. But never goes to see Joe Blogs and Mary Blogs. Can't do that because somehow money and huge international interest, and they'll go into this campaign probably with $9 to $11 million in their pocket, ready to take you on, and hope to win with their money alone. But my challenge to Mr. English and all the commentators, if it's so good, make it 273,000 net every year. And boy, we'll be having a real boom, won't we? We'll have a housing boom, we'll have a bus boom, we'll have a transport boom, we'll have a tourism boom. Everything will be booming, except that 3/4 of New Zealand's going to go broke doing it. And your children will never ever get in their own home. That's why we argue for the sanity of our policy, and 10,000 is our target. Now, who's in control of this thing here? Is there a local outfit that runs the power system? Because frankly, I'm going to have that. Some people are going to get nervous. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying is they want our borders wide open to welcome and accept the world and all its problems. What New Zealand First wants to do is to solve our problems, to put New Zealanders first, to ensure that we get the massive added value of all our resources before anybody else. In the last 3 decades of New Zealand politics, I've seen a great country become more and more, month by month, year by year, the ownership and property of so much of the rest of the world and not us. You all know it's true. We used to have a bank called the BNZ. We started to give ourselves independence in banking, and we have 6 out of 10 New Zealand banking clients belong to the BNZ, and the National Party flogged it off to Australia. Just like that. Then Helen Clark starts the Kiwi Bank, puts Jim Bolger in charge of it, the guy that sold the BNZ, a much bigger bank, and he starts off his first meeting by saying, I've always believed in a New Zealand-owned bank. Yeah. How much hypocrisy do you people want before you make up your mind that this campaign is now or never? We've been through the forests in this country, north and south. So the 6, 8 of the top 10 forestry companies in this country are foreign-owned, and they used to be all New Zealand-owned one time. And we go everywhere around this country, we see so much of our resource base going into foreigners' hands, and that's what this campaign's about. It's a campaign for the regions, because the regions are where our great resources are, where the hardest working people are, where the export creators that go offshore and bring money back to the family in New Zealand are, and yet they've been utterly forgotten and neglected, and I can prove it right here in Tauranga, in the Western Bay, and all over the country. We believe in our country, we believe in trading with the world, but we want the industries and assets which earn our way in the world owned, operated and controlled by New Zealand and New Zealanders. We've seen neglect on the strip everywhere. Overburdened roads, roads corroding right in front of your sight from a bus, you can see it clearly, huge costs coming, mothball rail lines, small towns, and shuttered up shop windows that used to be part of vibrant New Zealand. I see those towns in Scandinavia and Switzerland all alive and vibrant. Why here are they dying? They're dying because of a right-wing economic experiment which after 33 years, sure you all know, does not work. We have a country where schools and hospitals have to battle constantly to keep their head above water, where nearly every district health board is seriously in debt, where you've got schools where teachers are teaching in corridors and in libraries. You've got all sorts of infrastructure not being invested in, and yet they've got the temerity to say, Mr. Joyce and Mr. English, that they've got a surplus. They capped the police numbers. This is not going to be a very good recorded message, I can tell you. But they capped the police expenditure in 2009. They just stopped spending money on the police. And then, in the greatest con job since Goebbels, they said crime was falling. And we did question after question of every police station around the country, and so many of them never had anybody there 24/7. Or some finished at 9 o'clock, at 5 o'clock at night. As though evil is only out there when the sun's up. Everybody knows from the good old book. Evil thrives in darkness. It's at night time. And at night time there's no police anywhere. They capped the police numbers and said crime was falling, and then manipulated the outcome. Any criminal lawyer will tell you what they did, because there was a time when that used to be the mantra for the deep sea fishing that came off the Tauranga to Mere Island. They adopted the deep sea sort of Zane Grey policy when it comes to criminality of catching and releasing, warning them, letting them go, not charging them. And then you can say crime's falling, excepting when people realise, hang on, burglary is going rampant in this country. Our clearance rate for burglary is only 10% nationwide, and in places like Tauranga on the East Coast, only 3% clearance. They realised they're getting too close to the election, people weren't falling for it, so they, in the last moment, after 7 years of doing nothing whatsoever, They said we're going to give you an extra 880 policemen and women. When? Not tomorrow. Not next year. Over the next 4 years. That's over 1,000 short of what we need. If we're going to have the policy that we were going towards in 2008, when in 3 years we got you 1,000 frontline policemen and women in 3 years flat and 235 backup people in the office. That's our record, and you vote for us in this election. We'll give you 1,800 extra frontline policemen and women so that crime is defeated in this country in the way it should be, is combated in the way it should be, because unlike the rest of the parties, we believe the first freedom is safety in your homes, your streets, and your businesses. In this trip around this country, we've seen family poverty and homelessness, and now it's in the tens of thousands. But worse still, you've got people in homes which are going to go rotten because they've allowed to bring in product and plumbing and electricity, which means one day they'll find out they've got a $300 to $400 million repair job and they won't have the money. Those couples will be bust for the rest of their lives. We stop this sort of practice in this country and get back to standards, and I'm not talking about nanny state. This is where the nanny state should work. If you're going to build homes and you're going to put plumbing and electricity into it, there should be first world standards, not bring in rubbish. So that sometime 10 years from now, and it was fronting in the Herald, New Zealand Herald, I'm dare say, only 3 weeks ago, in the 3 huge articles, where people who are experts are saying, we've got a nightmare coming. But then, whilst I'm at it, just to remind you about how impractical the Greens are, who was it that argued we should stop treating timber and posts, just in case a child went and nibbled on a batten on a fence? Who said that? Do you remember? Of course you do. It was the Greens in the 90s making that allegation. So they started putting non-treated wood into houses. Right? Guess what happened? First hint of moisture in this porous radiata and pine comes rot and mould in the full 100 yards. Do they take responsibility for being impractical or for having no common sense? No, they don't. Now I suggest, mate, this thing here is causing that there. Just worked it out. I'm not an engineer. Maybe I'll move it up there. Can you still hear?
Yeah, I can.
It's not
But that wouldn't have anything to do with it, Mr. Peters.
Well, it has this little feature. You're there, I'm here, and it's making this noise here. And I don't think, mate, that is a sheer coincidence. So I've moved it over here. So far, there's no more noise. So it might have something to do with it. You don't be like the media. Ignore all facts and evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, sometimes, I'll give you an example. When I was young, my father was a bit of a martinet. And you had to be when you got 7 boys, and they're not all the best behaved, especially yours truly. And 4 daughters. Was a pretty much organised guy, and he won us up in the morning, milking cows, up by 4:15, 4:45. And we weren't bouncing out with the speed that he wanted. So he went into town and got a big, those days, West clock, Big Ben alarm clock. The first morning he got that, we didn't know it, but he sneaked it in the room overnight. It went off, and I tell you what, we rocketed out. 3 months later we couldn't hear it. And that's what's gone wrong in New Zealand politics. You are seeing fact after fact which one time would have seriously alarmed you, but now you're numbed down to accepting it. Or worse still, as Frank Sinatra once sang in that famous song, he said, I've been down so long, it looks like up to me. And all over New Zealand, you're accepting things which your parents and forefathers would never, ever have accepted. Homelessness, joblessness, not getting treatment in the hospital because you can't afford it. All sorts of people up against enormous stress and strain from a country that used to be number 1 or 2 in the world. And when these people in the commentariat, and arrogant as they are, present company accepted, of course, start saying it's old-fashioned to think that way or you're being nostalgic, my answer to them is, well, get out of the way, some of us still believe in our country. Still believe we are the great people we once were. Still know that on the farms of our country when I was a kid, mum, dad, and all the kids, the corporate family in New Zealand, could be a landowner in the UK or anywhere in Europe, and 4 adult workers, all by the family productivity in New Zealand. We could out-compete them all, and we are still those people if we're only given a chance. Who works the second longest hours in the whole OECD? Have a wild guess. We do. So we aren't lazy like Mr. English says, are we? We work the second longest hours in the OECD. Who's the highest paid population, not Australian, living in Australia? We are. If we go to Europe or go to London, people want to hire us because we know how to muck in. We forget about this number 8 wire mentality. We don't mind doing an extra job or helping out because we know what collective enterprise is. And yet you've got these people who say we can't be what we want to be, and the reason they're saying that is because the miserable economic experiment that they took matters part of in 1984 doesn't work. And some of you can remember 87. It's 3 years after the Rogernomic experiment, and guess what the Labour Party slogan was? Or have you forgotten? You know what their slogan for the 87 campaign was? 3 years after this experiment they started, on the 40th of July 84, without asking anybody? It was, you've had 3 years of pain, now you're going to get 3 years of gain. You've had 3 years of pain, now you're going to get 3 years of gain. I can't believe I'm looking at this audience and you're all smiling. Or have I just come upon the most patient society in the whole wide world? Because you've been waiting now 30 years and it has not happened. And it won't. And what we've got is a massive division between the rich and the poor. And now the middle